So in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can use index cards to help you memorize your textbook definitions. So when you read a textbook, say a chemistry textbook or biology textbook, you're going to have bolded definition words to memorize for your test. And so an easy way for you to memorize those words is for you to use low-tech index cards. And so what you do is you write the definition on one side of the index card, for instance, derived data, and then you write the word on one side of the index card, and then you write the definition on the other side of the index card. So this index card says derived data, and that is data that is calculated or inferred from other data. So here's another example of index cards. You could have here the definition of the word. So here the definition of the word, is data traces, and then the other side of the card has the definition of the word. And then I have an entire set of these index cards that I created. It took me about 20 minutes to create 20 of these index cards from the chapter. And so what you do is, if you are stuck in an elevator, or if you are traveling in a bus on your way to work, then you can look through your index cards and learn your words that you need to know for your test. And so, for example, if I'm trying to memorize for my test, what are data traces? And so I would say to myself, data traces are traces of student activity. Whoa, records of student activity. So I got that one right. And then what is metadata? Metadata is data that describes other data. Then you look on the other side and you go, oh wow, I got that right. Metadata is data that describes other data. And then you could say, what is right of erasure? A right of erasure gives European citizens the right to delete data, to tell the company to delete their data, personal data. And so here it allows a citizen, not just a European, so I got it slightly wrong, it allows a citizen to delete their data. So I was close. What is the General Data Protection Act? So on one side I have the definition, on one side I have the word, and the other side I have the definition. And so I would test myself and say, what is General Protection Regulation? I think this is the one that gives the EU, that is the European citizen, the right to privacy of their online data. Yep, I got that one right. Gives EU citizens more control over their personal data. I'll give one last example, just so, and then you'll get the idea. I'm not going to go through all of these. Educational data. What is educational data? And so on one side I've got educational data. This is, you write the word on one side, and then on the other side you write the definition. So on the other side, so what is educational data? That's data about education. Okay, so you would say data collected about the education of each student. So you get the idea of how you can use index cards in order to help you study for your test. And it might seem tedious at first to sit there and write the definition of each word. But believe me, it is highly effective, because then when you're sitting around, let's say, doing nothing else, then you could just flip through your cards, flashcards, and learn your definitions. And it's really, really effective, and it's really, really cheap. This you can do anywhere. And as I said a gazillion times, if you're sitting on a bus, waiting for the doctor, watching your kid go and play soccer, and then during halftime, when they're all like an intermission, then you can flip out your cards. Okay, and that's a great way to. It's how when I took chemistry class, when I took physics, and when I took all my science classes in high school, because in New York at that time we had to take regents, the national, in other words, it's a state exam, and every high school student, we had to take at least 3 regents, science regents. I took In my 10th grade year, I took biology. Then in my 11th grade year, I took chemistry. And 12th grade, I took physics or something. Everybody had to take 3 years worth of science regents, and that was a state exam, and we had to memorize. And so I used my index cards to memorize all my science words. Also, I had to study for French, and so I studied all my French, because in those days we didn't have, internet yet, so everything was low tech, and so I used index cards. In my next video, I will show you how you can input these index card definitions into ChatGPT. And then after you input all of these words into ChatGPT, then you ask ChatGPT to explain each definition in easy to understand English. And then you are going to have yourself I remember I got stuck on learning what is derived data. And so the textbook said derived data is data inferred from other data. And I was like, huh? I still didn't understand what that meant. So I went to ChatGPT and I typed in derived data and I put into the prompt, explain to me what the meaning of derived data is in simple to understand English. Explain it to me as if I'm a high school student. Give examples from my life. And then I put in, I'm a teacher. Okay, and then I pressed submit, and then ChatGPT came back with, if you're a teacher or a student, derived data means that when you're trying to figure out the final grade to your class, okay, what you do is you figure out, you got your quizzes, and then if quiz number 1 is an A, quiz number 2 is a B, quiz number 3 is an F, okay, your overall grade will most likely become a B+, something like that. So when you use other data, you derive other data in order to come up with a result, that's derived data. Where did you get your grade from? Your grade was derived from the data of all the grades from your class. That's derived data. Oh, as soon as I was able to apply whatever that weird word was to my life, I instantly understood it. That's the magic of ChatGPT. So if you have any bolded words you don't understand, that's how you use ChatGPT to ask in the prompt, give me an explanation of derived data in easy to understand English as if I'm a high school student, I'm a teacher, give examples from my life of this definition, or apply this word to my life, and then push the button, and that's how I got that definition. And then I understood, oh, that's what derived data is. So in my next video, I'll actually go over that some more of how you can create that kind of chapter summary in ChatGPT. So this data just focuses only on how to create index cards and to study index cards in order to better learn the definitions in your biology, chemistry, English, and your English class. So if you found this video to be useful, don't forget to subscribe to the Professor H Writing channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time.